joining us in the studio, but not really in the studio because he's halfway across the country. I'm in Chicago. Where are you at?
I'm in Santa Barbara, California, the satellite studio, as they say.
Well, the satellite, that is phenomenal. So woodworking, everything. This guy has been doing it probably longer. How long have you been woodworking?
Oh, I mean, this kind of woodworking, maybe 5 years, but I owned a framing company for 10 years, and we did framing and concrete, doors, windows, that kind of thing. So when I sold that company, I kind of was looking for something to do, and I started making some stuff in a shed outside my house with no power, and I just fell in love with woodworking. It was just, became everything and anything I wanted to do.
Okay, so you specialize, in case people don't know, in like dovetail jigs and all these things. So is that part of the reason, because maybe the shed had no power, that you were so, into dovetail, hand making things, or is that part of it, or not really?
I think that was part of it, but more it was just the cost of tools. Working with hand tools is so inexpensive compared to power tools, and obviously it's vice versa on the learning curve. The learning curve with hand tools is so great.
Right.
And with power tools, it's much lower. But for me, it was always about dovetails when I started. I saw a video by Matt Kenny from Fine Woodworking.
Okay.
No longer with Fine Woodworking, but Matt Kenny, the 52 boxes in 1 year guy. And he made it look so easy. And so I was like, I watched this video. I said, oh, okay, I'll go cut some dovetails. And I went outside to my shed, and oh man, they were terrible. I mean,
but you have become him, because now when you watch one of your videos, you're like, dang, how is he doing that? It's like, you just use this little jig I got right here. And these joints are just insane.
Well, that's what I think was so cool about the jig. In fact, the local technology museum just today released an exhibit on me, and it has all the iterations of the dovetail jig in it. And it was really cool.
Wow.
But what it really made me think about was how it's really become dovetails have become a big part of popular woodworking today. Look on Instagram, everybody posts their rite of passage dovetails, their first dovetails on Reddit,
right.
Woodworking. And what my jig does is it just cuts out 90% of the learning curve. It doesn't mean it doesn't do dovetails for you. You still have to practice, but people today, they want shop time and they don't have a lot of it. They work full-time jobs, they're parents, or they've got school. And so they only get a few hours a week in the shop, and spend that time actually making something that they can give to somebody or enjoy themselves.
Yes.
So much more. There's so much reward to it, as opposed to practicing for months on end, getting to a point where you're comfortable cutting into a piece of wangy or walnut or that kind of thing.
Right. It took me years to realize it was wangy, not like wingy and wang and wange. And I'm like, man, what is this called? Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, especially now, like I know I'm from a whole different world of like, I self-employed for 12 years, cabinet making. And it's like a customer asks you for dovetails. You're like, ugh. And it's like, you got to make them all yourself. And it's like, I don't have time to. Have you ever met anyone that handcrafted and charged and paid someone for a full kitchen of dovetail drawers by chance? No. I wonder if that's even a thing.
I think it can't possibly be a thing.
No, I don't think. Yeah, because like a lot of people, they're like, "Well, Home Depot's got it. I got this craft made," and you're like, "Yeah, look at the joinery." Like, I've never actually done a handcrafted dovetail before in my life. I've used the jigs, but as far as like when you look at the quality of Home Depot cabinets and their dovetails, it's almost like, what do you cringe or what do you do?
I mean. Come on. It's like there's a place for it. And when you look at kind of mass-produced stuff, that's the reason why woodworking and making things is so popular, is because, I apologize.
You live by an airport.
An airport.
Yeah, your shop's by. So, I saw that one of your videos. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and but the readily available products that are on the market today are the reason that people enjoy making things that they do by hand. And that's why there's a thing called the makers movement. And that's why it's become so popular, is because, you can get stuff cheap. And, a lot of times that'll fit the bill. Not a lot of people want to make their own kitchen cabinets and that kind of thing, but they want to eat at a dining table that they spent, 6 months in their garage, 4 hours a weekend working on, or hey, that rocking chair that my grandma's sitting in, I made that.
That's very cool.
Or that Adirondack chair, whatever it is, The joy,
which is a really hard word to say, and you mastered that. Just
you know, I'm a I was going to make a dirty joke, and I'm not going to do it. But the joy that people get is in part because of the Home Depot and the IKEAs, and it's that much more impressive when you can realize what goes into actually making a
right.
You know?
Yeah, and then you're just like, man, how does IKEA only charge $79 for that? That's like so like, dude, cost alone is $79 for that piece, you know, if you're gonna make it yourself. So therefore it is all about the heart, not resell, which is a whole different there's so many different genres of like woodworking. It's insane. And pay the bills, don't pay the bills, get lucky and pay the bills, sell some really piece that's really easy, or dovetail it. That's so crazy. But so like how long so you've been dovetailing for how long, I guess?
5 years.
Dang. And so you've really mastered, like, what are some of your favorite, I guess, joinery for, you know, what you do? I say you do because I'm like not a fine woodworker. I'm more like,
right.
You know, just your,
I of course love dovetails.
Right.
What was I doing the other day? Dovetail keys are fun, like in live edge slabs. Did you know about the airport before you closed on the house, or did the airport go up after? It's a strongly worded letter. Actually, this is my office. My office is separate from my house. I'm in a place we lovingly call the International Maker Station, which is
nice.
This place I signed a lease on 3 or 4 months ago, with the dream that we would bring in YouTubers and content creators from all over the world to make online content. And so we're creating an online school. And Sean Boyd, one of my best friends, is in the building, and he's just a couple shops over. And so we're making this a place for this community, for this content creation community. And we're going to have live classes here.
Right.
And, it's terrifying because in Santa Barbara, the rent of homes, Santa Barbara is one of the top 3 or 5 markets in the United States for residential homes, price-wise.
Oh.
And commercial is the same. So, signing a lease on a place that is way bigger than I need is a very scary thing.
Right. But being next to the airport probably saves a little bit of that ouch factor, I'm guessing.
It was on the lower end of the market, but it's still $1.50 a square foot, and you multiply that times 3,000.
Oh yeah, no. I've had a furnace showroom. God, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you got to have the justification for sure. It has to have something, dude. That is awesome. Like, yeah, the makerspace thing out here, they have a few. I'm in the Chicago area, so they have a few out here, and it's just one of those things. It's a big travel to get there, and so yeah, that to me would be like, man, a dream. Like, just so how does that work? Are you open for business as far as if people want to just come, or they can join, or is it by invite only? Invite only. You do it. He's sitting at the hospital with his mom. She hurt her hip, I guess. So
not a very
normally
good picture of his mom.
No, you do. Yeah, she's. I like her with the orange background personally, but John's usually in here, and unfortunately he had to go over there. He'd be showing off your Instagram right now, all your cool videos and all your pictures. And woodworking is what John's totally awesome at. That he'll be. I can't do it manually by myself, unfortunately. But so we're not going to be able to see any of your work besides the wood thing behind you that you did, that little whatever. What do they call that? So
that's a 3D end grain cutting board. That's actually going to be my first class in the online school. So nobody's actually seen this yet.
What? Holy smokes! That's your first class. So hopefully these people have been practicing. Wow, dude, that looks good. Wow, that's really good. I don't even see any like cracks in it. I don't see any filler.
Well, it's not
very nice.
Camera.
That is nice. That's like the camera's grainy. It's okay. Dude, that looks good. Phenomenal.
It came out amazing. I mean, if you look really close, this has. So the way this was made is you cut all the individual pieces.
Right.
I'm drinking 805, baby, local pale ale.
Mine, I got Coors. Because nice. I had the good stuff. Do you guys have Founders? But I drank the last one. Founders. I don't know if you've ever heard.
Yeah, we do.
Founders is good. I really love it. But when you run out of that, you stick with Coors.
Hey, you got to go to water.
Yes. Pea water. Yeah, we'd like to call it here.
So we make all these individual pieces, and then you glue up these triangles.
Okay.
and everything's 60 degrees. So that's really hard to get right.
Wow.
You make all these clamping blocks, and then you glue up these hexagons. That's really hard to do when you're looking in a camera.
Yeah.
You glue up these hexagons.
It's hard enough just to point that you're over here. You know how much time
Right.
that took me to practice that the guest here, not here? Like, dude, I get it.
Nope.
See, right? I got it. Dude, totally. It's hard.
And then you have to glue up all the hexagons. And so it was really hard. It took 2 weeks to make with filming. It's a 9-part class, I think, 10-part class, but we go over the whole thing and how to do it. And
that's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
And do you walk around? Do you walk around your neighborhood and inside the airport like that, and just carry it like a boombox, or is that just like?
No, I walk around and I steal people's luggage and end up with all sorts. It's how I go shopping. We call it shopping.
It says they love it. Awesome. That is really cool. I'm like, I really like your head's unfortunately in the way of your hard hat, because you have a hard hat behind you. Yeah. Like, who doesn't have a hard hat behind them in the bookcase?
Right. Well, this was when I owned my framing company. This was always the hard hat that was in my car.
That is awesome. So
we were big on safety. We had in 10 years we had only one lost time accident.
That's good. Lost time. Okay, lost time. I thought you meant like lost a person accident. Like, we only had one person go down on us. Totally.
We only had to kill one person.
Yeah, he was a great guy. He was kind of, that cutting board shouldn't see a knife. Yeah, I'm with you and against. I'm. What do you feel about that?
I'm gonna use it. For sure.
And then you can always sand it back down, right? How thick is that? It's like 8/4 probably, right?
I spent 2 weeks making it just to put it on the wall. I like the stuff I make.
That, like when I do, for example, like I used to do cutting boards until I realized, man, they take a long time. But they take way longer than you think by looking at them for people that haven't made one. But you make one for your family member, like, oh my God, it's so precious. And you're just like, you get a knife and you cut it right away for them after you hand it to them, because they're like, I'm going to hang it on the wall. Like, no, you're not. You're going to use it, put it in it. Don't put it in the dishwasher. But,
both my brothers have cutting boards I made for them, and they both use them, and I think they should.
Dude, that's all. Yeah, putting them in the dishwasher is a whole nother story. Don't really do that, because, like, man, I mean, I guess you can. Like, so what is your finish? Can we get rid of one of your videos? But what, or a sneak peek? What is your finish method? What is your final finish, I guess, on that cutting board? If you want, is this like, hey, man, you got. It
was awesome. In the class, I teach you how to make your own finish. And so,
does it have to do with that paraffin wax or no?
Yeah. So we got natural beeswax.
Right.
We got mineral oil, and we did 4 parts. Yeah, that is true. Chicago Johnny's chefs do love quality cutting boards.
They do, absolutely.
And I melted 4 parts mineral oil to 1 parts beeswax. And I let it cool to sort of this thick, goopy paste, and then I put it on there, and it's the nicest finish I've ever put on anything.
That's all. Yeah. Do you microwave, or how do you cook it? I guess
I used a chafing dish for the purpose of the video, so people could kind of see it melting together.
I have no idea what that is. That sounds like
dish is what
rubbing it raw.
No,
that's what I'm sorry. I
it's what caterers use to keep your food warm at a party.
Oh, it makes sense. So chafing is a warm friction action that's just keeping that. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think it's CHAFING maybe.
Yeah. So not give me the baby powder. Well, that's good. We're healing. You do its mother.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute at a time. Like, sorry to hear that, man. Like, for real. Like, I was like, man, that's crazy. Okay. So enough about chafing. What is this dovetail jig, I guess, that you're selling and that you have created, which is great. Like, to be a woodworker and to invent something did you like pee yourself like twice after you like, dude, or was this something you've been thinking since you were framing? And
no,
a heavy 16th to you is like a 1/4 inch when you were framing, right? Is that how the framer joke goes? Like, it's a 25 foot and a half ish.
Right.
Like, your ish is way different than dovetailers ish, and heavy. And
it was that was a big change, but it wasn't like there wasn't a moment where it happened. It wasn't like
slow motion, like you running through a finish line. Like,
it wasn't like, oh shoot, I thought of this. It was, in fact, if you go to my Instagram story at Katz-Moses, no hyphenation, you'll see the exhibit that the museum put out today. It has all the iterations of the dovetail jig over the years, including the first one. I saved it. And the first one didn't have any magnets in it, and it was just a block that had the tails side on it, but it was flipped like this, and the post was down here.
Okay.
And there was 3 other blocks for doing pins and the shoulder cut. And then I looked at them and I said, oh, maybe I could put those together. And then I figured out how to put them together. And then I was like, oh, I should put magnets, because I used to just clamp it to the board,
right,
and hold my saw, and it was not, it looked pretty clumsy, but it worked. And I went from doing the world's worst dovetails to actually putting them in a project. And it was like, just wow. And then I put magnets in. I ordered some magnets from Amazon and put them in there. And I used this. I remember when I first started, it was so hard to find wood that I didn't mind destroying.
Right.
I found all this dumpster wood from a demoed house, and it was clearly a cat lady's house, because the wood just smelled like cats and inside
and weird like that reaction when you pee on something like months later. Is that the smell? It's like vinegar, not vinegar. I don't even know. It's kind of
cat piss. I mean,
it's like animal.
The Coors Light you're drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Chicago Coors Light. It's what we drink. No, I need a PBR or something to make it more Midwestern.
Right.
But yeah, but see, in Chicago, it's 7:17, so got you on that one, West Coast.
Hey,
ain't no judging, because there's working functional alcoholics out here by the buttload. It's totally fine.
Right.
They're really good people. So now, how are you making this thing, the jig right now? Is it all CNC factoried or like?
No, it's made in a silicone mold.
Okay. In your basement.
Yeah, I actually have a guy, an engineer, who's about 20 miles south of me from where I am now.
At this very moment in time.
Yes. He's actually in Hawaii right now, but he usually is 20 miles south of me. And he was a big part of kind of growing the jig to where it is. Ammonia, correct.
That's the smell. Yeah, God, it makes you cry. God, tears. Hey, if you guys are watching, if anyone has a comment or a question, please let us know in the comment section in the video, because it's totally awesome. And if you're watching this live, put hashtag live, hashtag replay. See, there's a lot of these famous people that are really good at doing this. And hey, guys, if you're but we're just very natural, laid back. So just say, hey, you suck. We'll totally take it, and we'll put your comment up here like that. So it'd be great. Anyway, so she lolled. Yeah. So.
And if you're watching this live, you can spoil this in the comments. We're going to be doing a giveaway.
Oh.
For anybody who's watching live, I'll send you a dovetail jig for anybody who can answer how many fingers I'm holding up.
Right this very second. Ooh,
right this very second.
So you have a 0 in 10 chance. I'm going to I don't have a jig yet, so I'm going to have to.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So yeah, that's a really good one. So she's watching live, and see, now you might get people to talk. That's good. You're smart. You're look at it. Not only is he handsome, he's over here. He's also really intelligent. Does he have a jig faux? Well, I'm guessing broken hips. Yeah. Do you have a broken hip jig?
Did your mom's dog type that?
I think these jokes are hashtag too early.
I know.
She's in the hospital right now.
I didn't say your mom. I said
I thought it was your mom's dog.
No.
Oh, that was just subliminal.
Yeah, actually, that's next on my left. Slevin, a Renaissance man, got it. I don't even know how you hold up a Slevin, but
I don't know. That's some good stuff, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm gonna write it down so that way when someone gets it, they know I'm not lying.
Yeah, that's true, because we have 4. What do you win? What do you mean you win? You win.
One of you 2 dovetails.
2? Do you need 2, or is it like a package deal? How does that normally work with your?
No, you can use.
Moonwolf says 4.
Yeah. You can use that. No one's gotten it yet.
Good. And don't give it away if they do get it yet, because we can totally live off of this. That's my wife, and I saw the way you looked down at that paper. I think she might have got it. Oh man. Okay, dang.
But what is $5? I don't even know.
Mahogany. That's not even a hand. That's not even numbers. You people really what are we doing? I mean, but I do. I mean, mahogany's great. It's a really soft wood.
I know videos is. We used to read about him in elementary school.
What, who, mahogany?
Nope, Clifford. You're wrong.
Oh, did I miss Clifford? Where's Clifford?
Clifford Cup.
Oh, Clifford, 2 fingers. Yeah, Clifford was good. Real big red dog. Renaissance has 8. So I'm waiting for someone to say 11 or 14.
Renaissance Man, he got it.
What? No! Look at that. So 7 and 8.
He got it twice. Renaissance Man.
Oh, wait. Does Renaissance he backed himself out now? No, I'm kidding. So Moonwolf says 9. Dude, that's awesome. That is really great.
Man, you got it. In fact, I'm watching the thing on the live stream too. So
you're pro.
Renaissance Man doesn't know that he got it yet because it's on like
it's 15-second delay. Yeah. That's crazy. That's awesome. So all you have to do, Renaissance Man, is send him your information. And how much do you charge for shipping and handling? $8 for shipping and handling?
No.
Okay.
I will throw in shipping and handling.
He is going to throw in shipping. He lives by the airport, so literally he's going to like throw it in. I think.
Well, they're magnetic, so I just throw them up in the air,
and then the plane catches it. Boom! You're ready to rock and roll.
I think your jig's going to Tulsa.
So Renaissance Man, you are a wiener. Ding ding ding. We need to start like a game show. That'd be so much fun. Like, man. All right. So
wait, I have one question for the comment section. Put in the comments what you're working in right now. I want to hear about it. We can talk about those kind of projects.
Like working in or on? I thought I heard in.
After half a 805, apparently.
From the 402.5, I heard in. But let us know what you're working on and what you're wearing while you're working on it, because Jonathan's going to totally help you guys out. And that's sweet. Yeah, that's totally sweet. Renaissance Man, congratulate. I'd high five you, but we can't do that. And but me and Jonathan can high five each other, right? Yeah. Let's. Dude,
I'm going the wrong way.
See, it's harder than dovetails, right?
Yeah,
we did it. You were, dude. Half your hand was in Chicago just now, so just
do it one more time.
You might want to wash your hand though.
1, 2.
That the sound effects did it. Like, and okay, that's what got me when I watched your video on the popular woodworking. Is that the name of that? Yeah. So I watched the video, and then I got to send one in like a week later, and I put mine in there, so I got my guest host done. It was really fun. But when you did that grabbing the table saw thing, I was like, man, this dude's genius. This guy is like phenomenal. Like when I like that, to me, I was sold on other than your voice was amazing. And I was like, dude, this dude totally rocks. Anyway, I was just giving you some high five back right there. In a bathroom, Renaissance Man is, and bird feeder.
Nice, Moonwolf. I like it.
So I see you have a good retention span. I totally forgot I'm thinking, why is he putting bird feeder on here? But what were you wearing, Moonwolf? Because I would have noticed that. If you'd have put nighty, lingerie, or just tidy whities, I would have been like, oh, he's wearing that to build a bird feeder. And Video Suits is just he's building cedar. This guy is just growing a tree in his backyard.
Yeah.
Video Suits is a really good guy.
So on that video in the popular woodworking, it was really hard to get the sound effects right.
I was wondering because I'm new to editing.
Because if you're new to editing, we did what's called a masking,
right?
Where we masked out. We put it. It was actually 2 shots, and we masked one away, and then you follow the hand frame by frame until it gets to the saw blade. But we shot it several times, and we couldn't get it to look right because the saw blade was not moving before my hand grabs it, and you have to put the saw blade in the frame. So what we did is we would spin the saw blade by hand and
unplugged for people watching from Facebook, because you never touch a tool while it's plugged in. Facebook 101. Sorry. I didn't want to get any like rude comments. But
when you have 70,000 subscribers on YouTube, you get used to
you get the All right. So then you got it to, because your stopping was right on. If you guys haven't seen it, you should totally check it out on Popular Woodworking, whatever YouTube channel that is.
Called Popwood Playback Katz-Moses Edition.
Yes, check that, because it's like Bruce Lee, like mad. Like I was like, dude, this dude's magical. So did you edit? Like, are you part of the editing, or?
Yeah. I have an editor and a videographer, and so he does a lot of it. But we produce everything together. We talk about it. I used to do all my own editing, but
we talk about it. We lay on bed with our feet up and just like Saved by the Bell style, like, hey, what are you drinking? Hey, I think it'd be great if you cut it out right when I said, Yeah. You do? Are you having trouble reading the comments too? We were almost synchronized reading. I'm wearing shorts and I'm working on a 6-foot Han Solo and carbonite. But whoa,
wow,
man, you do it.
I don't know. I don't know where to source carbonite these days.
You don't know what? How to source it?
Source carbonite.
I don't know. Minecraft. My kids play it. You can definitely make your own carbonite for sure with that. And Moonwolf is wearing long sleeves and jeans. It's in the 50s in PA. Oh, yeah. See, we're in Chicago today, or today. I'm always in there. But it's like 60s today. And I was like, wow, phenomenal. But we just had a snowstorm that was ridiculous. Like, it was like 60 snowstorm, like 6 inches or 8 inches. That's more 8. And then we're about to shovel, and I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow it's gonna be 60, and then it all melted. So
yeah. I'm in Santa Barbara, so it's like 65 degrees.
Always. Like you guys live in AC / perfect weather, and you can't complain. You can't be like, man, it rained like a month ago, and I got wet. Like you crybaby shot. No, that's awesome.
I think it rained like 5 times this year, but actually it was a good year. It filled our reservoir back up. We were in the middle of a pretty bad drought, and it got full. So
that's miraculous. Because like, how can like 5 little bitty? It's probably little sprinkles. Like, how can that even fill up? You guys are stealing it from Las Vegas, and I've heard they had water problems. You guys are totally just draining the ditch and bringing it to you guys.
Well, what's crazy, and this isn't very woodworking related, but in California, there's a pipeline that goes down the entire state, where the state controls how much water each municipality gets. It's pretty crazy. In fact, there's a good book, I forget who it was by, about the water wars of the 60s.
And he knows about his books. Have you seen his bookshelf?
Yeah, I have 4
This guy's a reader.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I actually love reading. But yeah, so the water distribution system in California is pretty crazy, because a lot of the water that different counties get is not from rainwater, it's from the state, and they distribute it based on
That's crazy.
And it's great.
So it's like it's like a CNC machine of water. I don't even that made no sense, but you know what I'm saying.
It's more like electricity. You know, it goes from the junction box to all the outlets, and that's kind of
wow. That is crazy. All right, so what are you working on now? Do you have any project you're working on, or your favorite build lately, or like what can you tell us?
Yeah, I'm working on a live edge desk for a pretty famous musician, this guy named Pryor Baird, who was on The Voice last season. He got 2nd place, I believe.
Nice.
And, he's touring with Blake Shelton right now, and he's really, really good musician. And what's really cool is I'm making
a piano for the 1st place contestant, just so you know. I just wanted that up to you. No, I'm kidding. So I just had to ruin your story.
And I've known him for about a decade. I used to book him for a live blues night I had here in town. And he's a phenomenal musician, and he did well on The Voice. And he actually came by to check out the desk and did a pretty significant concert here in the shop just for me and my cameraman. And
just for you two, he did a whole show.
Wow. I mean, it's the video too. You know, we're using clips in the video and songs in the video, and plays a hit off his new single.
Nice.
A hit off his new album, and
a hit off his new single. Yeah, he's got 4 fingers, and no, I'm kidding.
And it was really, really cool. And he's one of those guys that just has a special voice, and really, he's just special. And so it'll be really cool to. Excuse me. I apologize. I just had to burp and didn't.
That's because of that. What are you drinking? 909, 808, 805. So is that your area code out there, or God? I'm only 7 digits away, or no? Yeah, 7 more. I know where he's at. No, new workbench 4x8. Can't wait. Clifford Cup. Yeah, that's what you're working on. Sweet.
Make it out of Clifford.
I need to make a workbench for sure. Like right now, I don't even have one here. I have one in the shop, which is in here, but not for, I want to feel like Norm David, not Norm, this old house.
Norm McDonald. No,
that's Weekend Weather. That's Saturday Night Live. I totally went blank now. God, these cores and founders. Anyhow, so you're working on, so what was the piece for him, I guess? Again?
It's a live edge desk. Walnut, from a bunch of walnut that I actually milled myself. I milled a walnut tree a couple of years ago.
With a chainsaw?
No.
Shirt on, shirt off? No, I'm kidding. Moonwolf wants to know. We all want to know.
But it was a tree that we milled up 2 years ago, and we have the whole thing. Yes, definitely get it, Moonwolf. It is really good.
It's so hard, right? It's like dovetailing. It's like everything's backwards, and
like everything's backwards.
You need a jig just for this.
I highly recommend this book here.
Bam. That's awesome. Yeah. And then maybe we'll throw a link or something on in the comments after too. If you guys need to know where the Japanese, just let us know. Hey, I want that link. And
I bet I can do it.
I bet you, dude, you're multitasking. Yeah. TLF Works Abrams. Does that mean anything?
What?
You're an amazing multitasker there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Norm Abrams. TLF.
No,
Yeah.
oh, Abram. Okay, yeah. Well, we were talking about. See, I have like really bad ADHD. I guess my wife keeps trying to get me to take the medicine for it. So, but Norm Abrams. Yeah, I like Norm. So, who's your guy that you looked up to? Who after you were framing houses and you're just like, I'm tired of framing. I want to do the stuff inside.
I think the first guy I looked up to was Matt Kinney.
Matt Kinney.
Yeah, and he was a big one for me when I first started. But then it was, Wood Whisperer, David Picciuto, Jay Bates. I love guys like Mike Farrington, who's a really popular guy. He's coming up in the world and
very cool.
Very good friend of mine. He's got about the same subscribers as Sean and I. He's just the best woodworker I've ever seen. Like there is nobody as good as him.
That's awesome.
That I have ever seen.
Ever.
Sean Boyd, who's in the same building as me, him and Chris Salamone both make some of the best modern furniture I've ever seen.
That's all. Yeah, I did see some of that. You mentioned him, and I Googled him real quick earlier, and I was like, man, yeah, it was some really cool, very good bent wood lamination type pieces. I'm like, man, this guy totally rocks for sure.
Yeah, Sean's a really good woodworker, and he is the best example of somebody who gets it done with minimalist tools. Like Sean basically has a table saw and a router and gets just about everything done he needs.
Any vacuum, or does he do any like vacuuming bag or any?
He makes those really cool designs out of full size pieces and templates and does a lot.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, that's awesome. That's because I saw a bunch of it. Looked like he made like plywood type pieces that were just kind of cut out in rings and just really, really cool, fun stuff for sure.
Yeah, he made that. That was a template. I think he made that out of plywood. He cut those rings. It was a bench.
It looked like a bunch of plywood put together. And I love people that can put plywood and make it look, functionally amazing. It's like it does serve a purpose and it does look totally awesome. Like you can make plies amazing, like especially with the Russian birch. I don't know if you're familiar with. You guys have that 5x5. It's got the plies are just unreal because of the way it's there's no voids. It's just like so pretty. But then you go to Home Depot, not sponsored, and you're like, God, this wood looks hairy, and then it goes hi, and it tells you hey when you buy the wood because it splits apart. Sorry, we won't go there. But Jamie F., I was able to make a beautiful Christmas present for my mother because of the dovetail jig. That's awesome. It made a big, it's really hard to read this. It made a very big difference to her. She has a cancer patient and made it for Christmas. Dude, that is awesome. That is, look at that. Your dovetail jig. Like that is, I mean, is that cool? Do you like reading? Oh, yeah. I mean, that is.
Those kind of comments always are very humbling and they move me quite a bit.
That is cool.
Jamie, that's really, I'm glad I could help. And, obviously you did all the hard work by making the piece and I'm sure you made her Christmas a lot better. So
yeah. And then that makes like a person like me feel bad. Like I just built a drawer out of the 1/2-inch plywood and I just, toenailed it. But the glue is really strong, but like, I feel like, oh gosh, but I don't, there's a time and a place for, the dovetails and that's what I love about woodworking. There's so many options, like unbelievable.
And it's, the kind of dovetails I do and the people who use my jig do, they're for heirloom pieces. They're for
right
that people want to show off and do those kind of things. If you're making kitchen cabinets and you got to do,
40... you say that with like a bad taste in your mouth. If you're doing kitchen cabinets,
yeah,
you're so dirty.
So boring to me.
Yeah, like go put on your apron and get in your shop. Like
I like
dirty.
I like to make this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, like yeah. Lucky dog. Lucky. But yeah, that is.
It took 5 days in Fusion 360 to figure out how to do that.
Dude, I can't even all right. So if a customer asks me for a 3-dimensional drawing, I go into
SketchUp.
No. Oh no. It's Microsoft Paint. And I seriously do because I tried Google SketchUp. I'm like, and then I tried going to IKEA's website and use that. I'm like, so I give people 2-dimensional, and then until I have to do 3, I'll do 3 by hand, send it to them, and they'll just be like, I'll take it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, no, I've had customers. My crowd's like the farmhouse modern people. So it's like inset doors, very clean rails and styles of the cabinets, just really simple, but clean, that's the whole idea. So it's like, it's easy to draw that versus, or organically, amazingly crazy details. And so what is your favorite? You said Fusion 360. See, I don't even have the capability. It took you how long?
Took me 5 days in Fusion 360 to figure out how to make that.
Gosh, that would be. Did you have fun?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was one of the most fun things I made in a long time. But it was just tedious. I mean, it was fun figuring it out, and it was hard, but
right.
Glue ups were tedious. There was, I don't know, 50 glue ups literally.
That's crazy. Versus like if you just do like a checkerboard chess piece, you could do like maybe 2 glue ups, depending, the way you cut it out and put it back. Versus
2 glue ups would do it on a checkerboard.
Unless you want to like literally cut. I've seen a few people, not going to name names, cut out every little piece and then magically use a lot of wood filler. Yeah, it's the way you do it is all about how fun you have. And Paul was here last week on the Wood is Good, and he's really cool. He's a high school teacher, and he does that whole like microwave thing. Have you ever tried that microwave electricity and you shock the wood?
Oh yeah, the spectrograph, or no, it's
the ring-a-ding-a. I didn't die.
Lichtenberg.
Yes, that one. Have you tried that yet, or have you?
I was going to. I had a microwave transformer and the gloves and everything, and I just never got around to it. My shop is filled with things I never got around to.
That's the true woodworker. Over there is that. Gonna get to that. Like, are you a hoarder? Should you be on Oprah? Because I know people are saying like, "Welcome to the Oprah show." Jonathan's gonna have one of these little, magic things that he makes. Your jig is gonna be under everyone's seat that tunes in tonight. But so are you like? Sorry, ADHD just kicked in.
I'm a hoarder, definitely, but I'm also really good. Like, if I showed you my desk right now, you'd laugh at how messy it was. But my shop is really clean always.
So you have a clean shop. Like I have a messy shop and a messy desk. Like I have bench stuff, I have stuff, I have paint, and you name it.
In the shop, it just gets way too hard.
You just moved in though. Frozen? Okay, trying to figure out exactly what is going on. Sorry. Totally froze.